Today we're delving into some of my very favorite music. The Kentucky Colonels have, there's a live album from the 60s called Living in the Past, which if you know about the Kentucky Colonels, they're called the Kentucky Colonels, but they were from LA. These are live concerts in LA with Clarence White, Roland White, Scotty Stoneman on the fiddle from, the great Stoneman family from Southwest Virginia, and Roger Bush on bass, and then Billy Ray Latham on banjo. And this album, Living in the Past, they just do like so much cool material, all kinds of material, like really fast instrumentals, gospel quartets, like mellow songs, faster songs. They do all the comedy bits too, which are really entertaining. And Billy Ray Latham, if you're listening to the album, like he's the guy who does a lot of the comedy bits, and he's also on the gospel things and other things. He's singing that really high part, like almost higher than you can imagine a person singing. He's doing that, and that same personality. I didn't get to know him, but like you can kind of get his personality from the performance. It comes through in his banjo playing too. He's got this very irrepressible style. And this break I'm going to teach today, it's Dark Hollow, which is favorite song, classic jam song. Like I think I maybe first knew it from the Mule Skinner album, which was also Clarence White, but that was Bill Keith on that. But this is, some years earlier. This is in the 60s, and Billy Ray Latham playing Dark Hollow, using some of that Bill Keith language, kind of integrating it with the Scruggs thing. I read an article that Alan Mundy wrote about kind of a tribute to Billy Ray Latham, and mentioned that when Alan Mundy was coming up, Billy Ray was one of the people he listened to as like an early model for how you could integrate Scruggs style and Keith style. Of course, Bill Keith was the other model for, integrating those two. Enjoy. The other thing I'll point out about this is when you listen to the recording and you play along with it, after you learn the solo, play along with the recording, but you'll notice that they really speed up for the solos. Like when the banjo solo kicks in, or later on when the fiddle solo starts, the band speeds up, but then they come back down again for the next verse. So it's really like subtle musicianship. It's, I think sometimes like if you take things a little too seriously or too by the book, you might have this idea of like the music should be at one metronome setting for the entire piece. And I think that's a great way to approach the practice room. Like, can you keep yourself at a really steady tempo? I think that's a great thing. But then when it comes to actually playing in a band setting, there's some wisdom in letting the music breathe. And depends on the genre. It happens differently in different genres. But with the Kentucky Colonels, like the tempo is really breathing. And that's a quality you hear with a lot of great bands. Like you hear that with the Del McCoury Band. Michael Cleveland's band does that kind of thing. It just makes it feel really live and fresh. And you can tell they're really listening to each other. So, and then the other thing about that, I'm going on quite a while here, I'll stop in a second, but the other thing I'll mention is that the lick that Billy Ray Latham does at the end, I don't know where this lick comes from. Maybe someone could jump in the comments and tell me, like maybe Don Reno did something like this, I'm not sure. But he does a lot of great licks like this, and it involves, using your thumb twice in a row and a pinch twice in a row, but it creates this very cool, playful kind of sound. And I hope to learn more of his solos where he does this technique and teach more of them on the channel. So enjoy. All right, so many cool things happening in this arrangement. So let's check it out. pretty interesting instead of just going, which is also nice, but. And then here, from this note, check out where he starts the next roll. Such an interesting approach. From the thumb, starting this forward roll thing, but on the middle finger. If you're like me, that'll take a little work to get used to that because it's not what I would typically go to there. And then you've got that's all pretty straightforward stuff, but it sounds really good. Then I like this, letting that D note ring for a minute because it walks you down to where you're going to next. And then here you're just in an F shape, but because you just play A up here, it gets you into like a melodic sound from A to G open and then F. So it's kind of a little melodic shape, even though it just feels like you're playing Scruggs style. I think this is a Bill Keith lick he's playing. So that's like, you would think you'd be playing a whole F chord there, but it's actually, the B string is open, so you get, that's called a Lydian sound when you have like a chord, but instead of the fifth, you've got the raised fourth degree in there. And here, that note is resolving downwards, but it's still this nice little dissonance. So, let's see. This lick again, very similar. And then that's like, I just think about this with like a lot of these 1970s and maybe 60s banjo players, the little pinches like that on an upbeat. I'll admit, Clarence White is doing some really cool stuff in the background there, and it's a little hard to hear exactly what Billy Ray Latham's doing, but I'm pretty sure those are the licks he's playing. And Clarence is doing something similar in the background, so that whole lick. So 3 pinches with these fingers, and then the really fun lick here. So that's just, you just kind of have to muscle it. So thumb twice in a row, then pinch twice in a row. I think I'm not just, I know I said a second ago you have to muscle it. I'm not literally just going with my finger. I'm using my arm for some of that. Like I've got a twitch happening kind of in behind my elbow. Think about that Sam Bush kind of motion, or the way that mandolin players look when they're playing downstroke style. I think there's a little twitch happening there. Maybe for the pinches, it's just in the fingers. And then that's a great little rhythm. So just so much fun. Enjoy. Hey, thanks for checking out this video. If you haven't already done so, please follow my channel, press a like on the video, or leave a comment for me. And also, I'd appreciate it if you head over to my Patreon page, and if for $5 a month, you can become a Patreon supporter and help me in continuing to make this content. All right, take care.